Ahoy there! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with a quick little video for Eve Echoes. Today we're going to be looking at the ship rental system, a new feature that was added in last week's patch, and I'm going to be talking about all of the different ways that you can make the most out of this. Basically, we're going to look at how this system works, what ships you should be using, and what all the different numbers on the page mean. Now, I was considering making this a Catskull Academy list, but ultimately I decided that because we don't know if this is ever going to be a permanent fixture, that I would just keep it as a standalone for the time being. If you do enjoy this video, let me know by hitting like on it, and if you think I missed something, let me know in the comment section down below. Finally, if you do want to help support this channel, you can do so by heading over to Patreon and pledging your support there. My Patreons will occasionally get their name into the credits at the end of a video, your name in the stars, you'll get a shout out if your pledge is high enough, a direct shout out in a video, along with earning exclusive merchandise and exclusive access to various different vlogs that I'll be putting out over the next year. And I'm going to be adding more to Patreon as time goes on, so as a big thank you for everyone who pledges to support over there. Anyway, with all that said and done then, let's have a look at the ship rental system as it currently stands in Eve Echoes. Now, we can find this by opening up our main menu and tapping into the event screen. Now, while the Splendid universe is going on, we can tap Ship Rental Project directly here, but we can also go to Ship Rental Project here on the left-hand side in the main menu, so we're going to tap on that one. This particular screen has a lot of new names, terminology, numbers, and all kinds of stuff that we haven't really seen before, so it's the first thing I want to sit down and talk about right here. And we're going to jump straight to the bottom here, where we have our three borrowing groups. These are the three groups that you can choose to rent a ship of 4 or 5 out to. Now, if you have a look on the right-hand side, you have the ability to re-roll these. So if you end up having a look through all three of the borrowing groups and going, oh, I don't really like any of these three, you can tap on that, and it will randomly generate 3 more for you. Be aware, you might get some of the same ones back, and if you keep refreshing, then obviously there is the chance that you'll get all of them back eventually. Now, once you've run out of the free 3 rerolls that you get there are 2 things you can do. You can either wait, I think it's 14 hours in total, or you can see here I've got 10 hours, 26 minutes until I get 3 more free rerolls, or you can just reroll again at a cost of 5,000 ISK, which quite frankly is pretty much nothing. Now, I've got 3 groups here along the bottom, the Tronhadar Free Guard, the Bruta Tribe, and the Sayatoda Task Force. Now, each of these then has a couple of numbers underneath it. The first number is the time that those ships are going to be rented out for. So for the Tronhadar Free Guard and the Bruta Tribe, that's 10 hours, and for the Sayatoda Task Force, that's 2 hours. The number in the square brackets is then the possible satisfaction that will be required, and the higher the satisfaction, the better the rewards are, but obviously the more difficult it is and the more ships you'll have to send out. Finally, below all of this, you'll then have the type of ships that particular group is looking for. So the Tronhadar Free Guard are looking for 2 main combatant ships and 2 electronic warfare pilot ships, 4 ships in total. The Bruta Tribe are looking for 4 main combatant ships and 1 defender, 5 ships in total. And the Sayatoda Task Force are looking just for 4 main combatant ships. Now, main combatant ships are just your typical kind of ship. If you strap guns on it and it doesn't really do anything else other than shoot things, it's probably a main combatant. Electronic warfare is a little bit more narrow. It covers things like your interceptors, things like interdictor destroyers are included in that. The covert ops cruisers are electronic warfare ships as well. Obviously things like the Griffin, the Vigil, the Crucifier, and the Morlis are E-warships as well, as you'd expect. And there are a couple of others there that I can't mention everything, but you get the basic idea. A defender, as shown under the Bruta Tribe there, is something like a Guardian, so for example a Rupture Guardian or a Mala Guardian, a Drake Guardian or a Harbinger Guardian, that kind of thing. Those fit the defender role. Occasionally you'll get Logistician come up here as well. Those are logistic ships. That's obviously things like the Scythe, the Osprey, the Hurricane Logistics, that kind of thing. Even heck, the Burst, Burst 2 and the Bantam and stuff like that would qualify as Logistician. Finally, you do also get mining ships and hauling ships. Do note that hauling ships include things like, say, the Probe Covert Ops, so there are some other options there. Now, if we tap into one of these, and I'm going to look at the Tronhadar Free Guard, because I think this is the one that's going to fit me best, you'll see that this isn't just a straight up, oh, you supply 2 main combatant ships and 2 electronic warfare. What we have is a spread here of ships requests. Now, the 4 requests they've got here, you'll notice one of them has a circle with a line through it. If I go back and have a look at the Bruta Tribe, they are after 5 full ships and are probably going to give bigger rewards because of that. But if I look at the Tron Hadar Free Guard, you'll see they want 4 ships. 2 of them are main combatant, 2 of them are electronic warfare. Now the electronic warfares both want a ship of Tech 10 or above. That means to get the maximum satisfaction, and we'll talk about satisfaction more in a moment, just know it's the thing you're aiming for here. To get maximum satisfaction, you want each of those to be an electronic warfare ship that is Tech 10 or higher. You can put any ship you like in there, but the satisfaction will differ depending on how close you are. You'll then notice that the main combatant ships they've asked for are a battle cruiser and a cruiser. Now, even though I'm on Captain Benzie here, who is mainly a frigate main, frigates, destroyers and cruisers, I can actually still supply a battle cruiser courtesy of some of the freebies that we've been given over time. So that's what we're going to have a look at here. Starting off then, we'll go with a cruiser, a main combatant cruiser. Now if I were to, this will open up a menu that has all of the different stations that I possibly have ships and items docked at. Obviously I'm going to look at the Catskill Academy here at the bottom, and when this loads, we get an idea of what we're looking for. Now in this case, we're looking for a main combatant ship that is a cruiser. And you'll notice that while I've got some cruisers docked here, like the Bellicose 3 Covert Ops, the Arbitrator 3 Covert Ops, and the Bellicose 2 Covert Ops, those are all cruisers, they are E-War cruisers, electronic warfare, as denoted by the circle, sort of the targeting relay circle thing, symbol there, rather than the crossed swords. And you'll see by the fact that the Hound, the Garma, all of these things have those crossed swords and the names are in gold, this is our way of saying that those ships match the main combatant. So if I wanted to, I could just loan a Nemesis. It is a possibility, but you'll see I only get 3 satisfaction from that. Heck, if I were to go back in here, scroll all the way to the bottom again, and decide to give him something completely irrelevant, so he wants a combat ship, and a cruiser, if I gave him something like a Probe Covert Ops, you'll see it fits in there and allows me to complete the group, but it gets me no satisfaction whatsoever. Maximizing that satisfaction is your key intent. So for this you might decide that actually you have a couple of other ships kicking around here and there. I have, for example, a Caracal trainer kicking around in Pater because I bought one dirt cheap just to demonstrate this, because it's a cruiser and it's a main combatant ship. And so it ticks the boxes and gives us a full 9 satisfaction. Now, what about those electronic warfare need a ship of Tech 10 or above? Well, let's have a look at our options there. Again, I'm going to go down to like my main hangar here, and we'll see what we have. So a Tech 10 with an electronic warfare ship. Now, this could be, for example, I could look into things for electronic warfare ships like a Condor Interceptor, but obviously that's only tech level 8 and it's not really going to fit the bill. Heck, even my Thrasher Interdictor, that is an electronic warfare ship, but it's only tech level 6. We want electronic warfare and tech level 10. Fortunately, I have a couple of these lying around, so I'm going to loan out my Arbitrator 3 Covert Ops, and that gives us the maximum satisfaction there, taking us up to 26. We're going to do the same then on the right-hand side here, using the Bellicose 3 Covert Ops that I have kicking around, because it's Tech 10 electronic warfare ship. And you see we're now all the way up at 43 out of 56 satisfaction. Finally then, a main combatant ship, and it needs to be a battle cruiser. Now I don't have battle cruiser skills, so why on earth would I have a battle cruiser? And do I really want to go out and buy something like a Hurricane prototype just to fit this? Well, no. I could either just take a hit to my satisfaction by giving just a main combatant ship like the Worm there, or I can scroll down the list here until I find the particular ship that I'm looking for. I've got to remember which station I had it docked at. There it is, my Gnosis. Now, a Gnosis may be a free ship that was given out by, in one of the events by NetEase. It may not be a very good battle cruiser on its own, but it is still a battle cruiser, it is still a main combatant ship, and it actually counts as quite a high tech level one as well. So if we put that in, you'll see suddenly we're at 56 out of 56 team satisfaction. Now if we tap on satisfaction to explain what this is, it determines the reward. The higher satisfaction limit, the higher the reward limit. The higher the satisfaction the pilot gets, the higher the value of the reward. So now that we've got all of those in place, we can tap on confirm and it will send all of those ships out, and you can see it has modified what I'm going to be earning from here. The higher your satisfaction, the better the rewards you get. So the first reward will be 1.8 million ISK, the second one 1.8 million ISK, and then 3.6 million ISK at the end there. And it's worth just checking that these are ISK, because sometimes they give you loyalty points here as well. Finally, at the end, we have Splendid coupons, which is something that I know a lot of people are trying to get hold of, and the best way to get these at the moment is by doing the ship rental project, logging in every time. So I'll set a reminder on my phone now for 10 hours time to come back and do the next wave of this. It is slightly annoying that there's no notification sent through to your device that, oh, your ships have been returned, you know, the trip record is done, and there we go. Now, there is some also interesting lore shown in here. Like, you can see a man with a scar has complimented me, and you get little stories about what your ships have been doing and all that kind of thing. Now, this does mean that for the next 10 hours, the ships that I have sent cannot be used. So if I decided now that I wanted to fly my Arbitrator 3 covert ops, I can't unless I tap on recall and bring everything back early, losing out on any rewards that I have not yet claimed. You can bring a ship back early if you really need to, but you'll be sacrificing any of the rewards that you have not yet reached. So really think about that carefully before you tap on recall, and also think about that before you send your ships out in the first place. Obviously, it's nice that I'm going to be getting, you know, a couple of million ISK here and 1,800 of those coupons, but if I sent away my main ratting ship and like a ratting fleet gets sent out, then I'm not going to be able to join in on that, and I'm going to lose a lot more ISK in total from that. So just bear that in mind and do consider some sneaky ways of getting those points. Now, if you're looking for main combatant ships of a certain tech level or higher, and you don't happen to have any, but you have faction ships, for example the Dramiel, or the Cinnabal, or the Macariel, those will count as a tech level 10 ship of whichever variant, so you can use those for anything. This is not true, annoyingly, for the Canyue or the Shanyue prototype ships. Those are higher tech level, but I think they're around tech level 6 that they count at. I don't remember off the top of my head there. So if you want to get a high tech level ship and you just don't have one lying around, be aware of pirate faction ships. Those are high tech level ships. Be aware as well that if you just need to send something out, you can do so just by quickly filling anything in the slot, but you will get lower satisfaction. If you really want high satisfaction, consider just going to the market, buying something at Jita or wherever, and then just using it from there, because remember the ship rental project pulls from any station you happen to have assets at. So if you buy a ship at Jita, you don't have to move it to anywhere, you can just rent it from Jita. Do be aware, though, obviously, that that makes some kind of sense. If, for example, the difference between me just having a lower satisfaction and complete satisfaction is 1 million ISK, if that's all the difference that's going to come from the rewards, it doesn't make sense to spend 10 million ISK buying myself a new cruiser unless I'm going to use it at least, well, more than 10 times, basically. So just bear that in mind when you're thinking of different ways to do this. Now, hopefully that explains everything that you need to know here about the ship rental project. If you do have any questions, of course, feel free to ask in the comment section down below, or to come and join the Catskull Discord. Now, I know some of you have been having trouble joining the Catskull Discord. Make sure you are using the link in the description, not trying to type the one that appears on screen at the beginning of the video, because it is case sensitive, and the font that I used at the beginning of the video does not show casing. Yeah, that was a bit of a rookie error on my behalf, but one that I do intend to rectify in future videos. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching this one right the way to the end. Let me know your thoughts and opinions if there's anything I missed. Make sure to check out our Patreon. Otherwise, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden!